Don't know why there's no stars up in the sky. Stormy weather. We're getting ready to get set up for today's video, but I want to remind you that if you would like to nominate someone to be the forever home of the GeoJazz project that we're getting ready to wet sand here, if it doesn't start raining, it may be really wet sanding. But if you'd like to nominate someone to be the forever home, I'm just the foster of this guitar. Let me know. Send me a message, john@guitarfosterparent.com. I'm going to collect those nominations and select somebody. The qualification is that you will love and care for and not neglect, and that this guitar will make music. That's the ethic. If you want to learn more, by the way, about the channel and why we do what we do, click the video above and you'll see all about our philosophy and why we do what we do and how you could nominate somebody to be the forever home of what's about to be a beautiful dark blue pearl GeoJazz body. And we call it that because it's going to have a Fender Jazzmaster neck. Let's get set up. So we have our primed guitar here, our Geo body. If you want to see how that happened, make sure you check out this video right here. It was quite the scene. But today is going to be better. We're going to be doing a refresh on this guitar. We're going to wet sand this primer and get it nice and smooth. This is the final step before we can finally put paint on and see that nice dark blue pearl finish. So here are the supplies. We've got our primed guitar body, got a bowl of filtered water, couple of pieces of 600 grit sandpaper, and a sanding block with some clips on the end. So the first thing that we do when we're doing this is we take our sandpaper and we just get it wet. Now this sandpaper is going to curl up when it gets wet. And you know, I've heard some people say you got to soak this a long time. I just dunk it in. It seemed to me that if you soak this too long, then it's going to get soft and tear. So I just dunk it in, count to 10, pull it out. And we're going to make kind of like waxing a car. The important thing is we don't want to get down to bare wood, so we want to just kind of let the tool do the work. We're not going to press hard at all. We're going to kind of let this water glide this over. And so we're going to get this nice and wet, put it on here, and just really nice. And there's a suction that happens with the water. That's what you want. See that water coming off there? You want the suction. And we're just going to kind of gently, and I'm not pushing down at all. Look at this. Just till it gets smooth. Now see, we're getting down to wood in some spots here, but this is just really smooth. And that's it. You don't have to go very deep at all. Okay? Little water. You start seeing wood, jump back. See, we got a little, okay? And I'm just gonna, yeah. Now the curved areas we're gonna do by hand, just the flat areas with the block. And this is just buttery smooth now. I mean, this primer sands really nice. This part will be under the plate, but you just kind of want to feel. If you feel any rough spots, just very gently go over it. And I mean gently, gently. There's really nothing to this at all. You don't want to push. If you push, you're going to go right through that primer. That's not what you want to do. You're going to feel the paper suck to the flat surface of the guitar. And when it does, just let it ride on that bead of water. And that really fine grit paper will get this thing buttery smooth. Now we're going to dry it off, but we're not going to use a towel or a paper towel. We're going to use our plastic scraper, the same kind of scraper that we used when we scraped off the pore filler epoxy. We're going to use the same kind of scraper to push this off, maybe a little compressed air. The reason why is if you use a towel or a paper towel, you're leaving behind what? Lint, which is no good. We don't want lint left behind on the surface. Now that we're dry, we're going to take care of the flat surfaces on the front of the guitar. Remember, I have my other sheet of paper that I'm going to use for hand sanding. Okay, nice and wet. Lay it on there. You'll feel that suction. And then just a very gentle little circles. That's it. Don't stay in one area too long, okay? Keep it moving. Keep it moving around the guitar. And any of the build-up areas that the primer had will go away. You'll see that they'll go away. Okay? Okay. That's really it. And this should feel almost like glass. You know, and again, if you've got any bumps in the guitar, it's really kind of too late to fix those. I mean, if you do, you may have to go back and porfill and start over, reprime. That's why it's important. See, I just missed a spot right out here on this horn right here. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, great. And you just feel along, but that's why you want to be careful when you're doing the other parts to make sure that you're real careful in getting that all done. All right. Okay. Now we're going to hit this flat edge right here. And I mean, I am just, you see it's getting through the primer a little bit. That's okay. That's not anything that's going to be a big problem. Okay. And I mean, I'm just literally gliding this along this seam here. Okay, just gliding it along, and you'll feel it. I mean, you'll know when it's done, because it's going to feel like glass. It's going to feel like the surface of the guitar that you want it to feel like eventually. This feels great. It feels like wet glass, which is exactly what you're going for. All right, now we're going to put our block aside, and we're going to take our hand paper, and we're going to do the sides and the edges in like manner. So we're just going to dunk the paper in, pull it out. I like to fold it because it gives you better purchase on the back. So I like to fold it over. And then I'm just going to very gently, and this will take a little more water because the water is going to run off, whereas on the flat sides it kind of has a tendency to stick on there. And then you're just going to take and work yourself around. You can't really use too much water in this, okay? It can be dripping off of there. That's okay. Okay, and just making our way around, dunking some more water in there, making our way around. Now you may say, wow, this thing's really wet and water's getting down in these little holes. I've seen some people that will actually fill those holes with some wax or something. I don't really think that's going to be necessary. I'm going to dry this thing thoroughly with compressed air when we're done. I'm going to take an air compressor with a little nozzle and blast all of the water off of this thing, and then I'm going to hang it to dry for a long time. It'll be a week until we shoot our next video. So, but you know, if you want to take some furniture wax, and you know, like a toothpick and put wax in these holes to keep the water out, you can certainly do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, this feels awesome. All right, now we're going to work our way around the side, and you'll notice when you dunk in the water, it rinses that primer dust pretty much right off of there. Okay, just come around the side. I'm not pressing. All right, this is important. If you press, you're going to wear right through the primer. And see, we're getting through it here a little bit. But that's all right. I'm not going to panic about that. It's smooth, and that's what we want. And it's going to take the paint just fine. Not going to be a problem. This is a filler primer, so it was pretty, you know, rough and granular. The good thing is, even where you see some exposed wood, this primer still did its job. It still filled in. And so I'm literally just gently, you know, like imagine the guitar would say ouch if you did it too hard. And if you hear it say ouch, you need to take a break. Okay, some water, feel of it. I mean, it just doesn't take much at all. Edges feel nice. The guitar should feel just like a new guitar. If you were to go into your favorite guitar store and pick up a brand new glossy guitar and run your hand along the finish, that's what this should pretty much feel like, only it's wet. If you go to a guitar store and you pick a guitar up off the wall to sample and it's wet, don't buy that one. It's a pro tip from me to you. I'm excited. I had a lot of you have written in saying, I can't wait to see what she ends up looking like when she's blue. And I can't wait to see either. It's going to be pretty cool. All the edges around, so see you've got a little rough edge here. Just take your, and it just smooths it right up. It's almost like magic. We're going to take care of this contour here. Just lots of water, lots and lots of water. Just dab it on there. Just let the sandpaper ride. Just glide it across. Very gently on this line, body line here. Oh, it's wonderful. It feels great. I'm telling you. I'm excited. Hey, Mr. Sunshine. It's not going to last, so don't get too excited. And see, we've got some issues right here. I don't know if that didn't quite turn out like I'd hoped. You know, right in here. But, you know, it's not going to be perfect. But I'm going to try. This guitar deserves my best effort because every guitar deserves to be played. Say it with me. Every guitar deserves to be played. Okay. Oh, there's a line right there. Here on the little part that goes on your lap. By the way, while we're on the subject, I sit to play a lot, which is easy with my acoustics, but I always have problems, especially with my basses and stuff, keeping them on my lap where I want them. I've actually thought about putting a piece of skateboard tape right here so that it grips to my, leg and doesn't move. I've been told by several different people that that's a terrible idea and that you should never do that and that no guitar deserves to be treated that way. So I haven't done it. All right, I'm going to do one last little pass over here, make sure I got all the contours. Notice I am not neglecting the under the pick guard. Oh, speaking of pick guards, I've decided what we're going to do. This guitar, if you'll remember, had a really thin, cheesy and cheap white pick guard with white pickups. We're going to go black. So I got some pickup covers for the two pickups we're not replacing, the two single coils. I have a humbucker. I've gotten one. I'll tell you all about it. It's pretty cool. Found it from a guy on eBay. Pretty nice. And so we're going to black. Everything's going to be black except the bridge. And I really wanted to find a black bridge. And if you saw the YouTube short we did, this bridge, the way these holes are configured, you see the 3x3? There's this gap. Most of them are drilled evenly. This one has a 3 and then 3, and those bridges are almost impossible to find in any color. I was hoping to find a black one. I thought about painting the one we have. I was told by people that know that, it'll look great until someone plays it and then it'll start to chip. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the original bridge chrome. I polished it up. It looks really great. It's nice and clean. I took the saddles off, cleaned them. And then I'm going to leave the output jack as chrome. That way we've got a couple chrome pieces. And I have decided that I'm not going to paint the headstock. I know some of you wanted me to paint the headstock to match. I'm not going to do that. There were a couple of reasons why, and we'll talk about it when we start working on putting the neck on and everything, and I'll give you my reasoning. However, I did have a custom decal made since there's no decal on the headstock. It's tasteful, it's understated, and yet it's still somewhat custom. So I'll unveil that to you as soon as it comes in. I had to order it. It's being custom made. When it gets here, it's a water slide decal, and I think it's going to look, it's designed for guitars. So I think it's going to look pretty sweet on the end of this strat-shaped headstock on the Jazzmaster neck that we're going to bolt up to this thing. Always fun stuff to do here. You know what I'm doing now? I'm setting up stickers and guitar picks to send out to folks absolutely free. So if you would like some guitar foster parent decals and the accompanying guitar foster parent picks, we'll just put a handful in there. We'll send them out. Just email me your address and I'll send them to you for free. They're pretty nice. Pretty happy how they turned out. This is what we call swag. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. We're done wet sanding. I'm going to wipe this down with a, one more time with a cloth, and then I'm going to squeegee it off gently with my plastic squeegee, sort of. the idea is we certainly don't want to put any type of marks in our pristine surface. And then once that's done, we're going to take air to it. I'm going to blow it dry in all the nooks and crannies, get all the water out of it, and then we're going to hang it for about a week. At that point, it will be ready for paint. We're going to get back in the backyard. We're going to pop our tent back out, set our paint station up. Hopefully we won't have a defective spray nozzle like we did last time, Duplicolor. But we're going to hold out hope that we don't. And then we're going to put a beautiful dark blue pearl paint color on this thing. It's going to look awesome. And then it'll be time to put our clear coat on. And so we'll talk all about that coming up on the next Guitar Foster Parent. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We're growing, it's exciting, and I'm glad to have you with us. And if you want to see how we got to this point, a great place to start is by watching this video right here.